Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to our channel. Today we have Bhabajeet back with us from Exotic Astrology, and topic that he's going to be presenting today will be massive wealth. How do we see massive wealth and the combination of the wealth in our charts? So I really welcome you back. Namaste.
Thank you so much, madam. It's a great pleasure to be back on Dr. Pai's channel. Always great to record with you and also with Pai sir. So from last 6 months, I've been doing a lot of videos on my channel on this topic, massive wealth, and many people have requested me to, kind of summarize things together. So I guess this is the best platform to do that. So in today's presentation, we will see using numerology and astrology and a bit of palmistry at the end. But yeah, primarily this will be based on numerology and astrology. So numerology will be using your date of birth alone, but when suppose a billionaire or a millionaire is born on a particular day, not everybody born on that day will be a millionaire or a billionaire. Only that person, or maybe some. So suppose if a billionaire is born, then maybe some other millionaires are born on that day, or maybe some other beggars are also born on that day, unfortunately. Okay, so for that we will need astrology also, and a bit of palmistry is also required, but numerology and astrology is sufficient enough. Okay, so if you permit me, I will share the screen.
Yes, please. Do I have
Okay.
to give paper? Are you able
No,
to
no,
share
no.
it or should I? Okay.
Yeah, I can share it. I can
Okay.
share it.
Yeah.
All right. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
All right. So today's topic is wealth in a chart. No, massive wealth.
Yes.
People are not interested in wealth anymore. They are like, we need massive wealth now. All right. So we start with numerology. So first we discuss the date of birth. So we calculate the collections. This is most important. Collections is a fancy word, but it just means the collecting all the numbers that you have in your date of birth. It's basically that and nothing else. So this is one sample example, 17 September 1950. This is Prime Minister Modi's date of birth, but nonetheless, I've just used it as an example. So in this, we calculate the basic number. The basic number is the sum of the day. So he's born on 17th. So the basic number is 1 plus 7, 8. Then the destiny number is the sum of the entire date of birth. So if you add 1 plus 7 plus 9 plus 1 plus 9 plus 5, you will get 5. So the destiny number is 5. And then we write the DOB numbers. So the date of birth DOB numbers just means all the numbers in your date of birth except the first two digits of the year. So this is 1900. So 1 and 9 we will not write, but we will write 1, 7, 9, and 5. So except 1 and 9, we write all the other numbers. Now we do the collections. In collections, we write the date of birth numbers and then the basic number and the destiny number together. So we collect all the numbers basically. So now we have 1975 and we have 8. But because 5 is another number which is already present, so instead of writing two times, we write like, 55 or double five. Okay. So now that we know the collections, we can now predict or know what kind of a person can this person can be. And I have around 10 examples of people who are like multimillionaires or billionaires also. So this is legit and this works. And now, suppose you don't know somebody's horoscope. I have some combinations using numerology, which you can discuss, which you can check in somebody's date of birth alone. Because suppose you know a colleague or your senior manager in the company, you cannot like, go and ask, what's your time of birth? Give it to me. People don't, I mean, they may not want to give it to you, right? But you may somehow know their, date of birth. That itself is sufficient. So now, assuming you have this collection, then we try to understand what these numbers mean. So if somebody has the number 1, it means the person has capacity for great leadership. Number 9 has great courage because 1 is the number of the sun, 9 is the number of Mars. It also shows fire, number 9. Then number 5 is Mercury, it's the main number of wealth. And number 7 is luck. And if you have the number even 8, even number of times, so 2 times or 4 times, then this is a combination of real estate. And we will see examples to prove this. All right. So now what we will do is we will see some yogas and combinations which give you exceptional wealth in using numerology. So suppose you have the number 1 and 7 together, you will have great luck, and we'll see examples of this. So the number 1 and 7, because 1 is, your name, fame, leadership, and number 7 is luck. So when you have these two together, doors open up for you. This is the best number to have. Then along with 1 7, if you have 1 9 5 7, all the four, you are also very lucky and you also get wealth, because wherever 5 is there, there is, a lot of wealth. Now, if the number 8 is there 2 times or 4 times, and along with that, 1 is also there, or even if the number 8 is there, 2 or 4 times, even if 1 is not there, you will do great with real estate. But if number 1 or number 5 or 7 or 9, if these are there, then it will be massive. And we will see example of a billionaire real estate person. Now, suppose you have the combination of 1 and 5. Now, if 5 is in multiple, like, 2 times, 3 times, or 4 times, like somebody is born like uh, 5th May 1955, something like that. Okay. So number 5 is there 4 times. And along with that, if you have 1 or the number 9, then that's like, extreme wealth is there. Okay. We'll see examples for this. So now, examples. Bill Gates, billionaire Bill Gates. I don't know what's his current net worth, but certainly more than $100 billion. So if you see his date of birth, now these numbers, they are not the date of birth, they are the collection numbers, okay, which we saw before. So if you do the collection, maybe it's a homework for the viewers, how did I get to these numbers? You can practice a bit and you can verify if this is correct. And in case I have made a mistake, then you can also correct me in the comments. All right. So for Bill Gates, if you see, he has the number double five. So if you go previously 5, and number 4 is Rahu, 4 is technology. His destiny number is 4. So we know uh, what Bill Gates and technology is. So then, of course, Steve Jobs, his primary competitor and also great friend. If you see, he also has this 1 and double five, and both are born in 1955. So you see, it's there by default, okay, for both. So then Niranjan Hiranandani, he is a real estate billionaire. And guess which number is there for him? The number 8 2 times. So this is like bang on. It's like hits the bullseye. Okay. And 5 is also there. So if 5 is there with double 8, then the person will not just buy properties or sell properties. The person will also have regular income. Okay, so the person could be in marketing or sales and so a lot of other things, social media and all this. Okay, then of course the richest person in the world, maybe as of now, Elon Musk. So he does not have number 5, he does not have the number 8, but guess what, he has the two numbers 1 and 7. So if you see, I mentioned here great luck. I mean, this is the best thing to have. Imagine being the richest man in the world. Then Elon Musk was once asked, how does it feel to be the richest man in the world? And he said, I think Putin is significantly more richer than me. So guess what? What does Putin have? Putin has 5. So he has 1 and 7, which Elon Musk has. And along with that, he also has 5. So yes, maybe he's right. When Elon Musk says that Putin is richer, so he's not wrong, that may be correct, right? Then we have Donald John Trump. Again, you have the number 1 and 5, massive wealth, billionaire. Shah Rukh Khan, superstar. Again, you see he has 1 and 7, the great yoga which Elon Musk has, and he also has 5. So he's similar to President Putin. So he has all the great numbers. Then Bollywood actress, superstar Anushka Sharma. If you see, she has the number one, again number eight two times. Again, real estate. She has a lot of properties, DLF, and all this. She and Virat Kohli, the husband, they have a lot of properties in India. And number five is there two times. Fantastic for wealth. And of course, Aishwarya Rai, who doesn't know her? Guess what? She has one and seven and five. Another female Putin. Okay, so extreme luck. I mean, fantastic. It's like beyond imagination, all these numbers. Fantastic. So, President Putin, Shah Rukh Khan, Aishwarya Rai, and look at the last example, Kylie Jenner. Insane numbers. I mean, this is unbelievable. The number one is there, seven is there, nine is there, and the number eight is there two times. Do I need to say anything else? It's all there. This is like you could say destiny or whatever, like skill is there, talent is there. So it's just there for this person. So I think she has the best, I guess, among everybody. But I also I'm not very sure. People can correct me, but I think she was the youngest, female billionaire or somebody like that. But nonetheless, uh, so again, when Donald Trump was born or Shah Rukh Khan was born, on that day, so many other people were born, right? Why did they not become this person or that person, right? So for that, we need to use astrology now. Very important. So now we get into astrology. So astrology matters because not everybody born on a single day will be billionaires. So now in astrology, we have different numbers. We have the three Artha houses, the second, sixth, 10th, and 11th. And we have the 11th house, second, sixth, 10th, and 11th is a Kama house, but it is the house of gains. So it is a very powerful house. But what is the difference between all these four houses? We may sometimes think, okay, yeah, they are both Artha houses, but what's the difference basically? So the second house sustains you. Now, what sustains us? Roti, kapra, makan, like food, clothing, shelter. So if your second house is activated, you may get some job or some side job which helps you to pay your bills. Okay. But sixth house, what is sixth house? Sixth house is the house of discipline where you have to like work 8 hours. So it's a typical job or a business. Could be business also, doesn't have to be just job. So sixth house shows things which you achieve after a long period of time, like working 10 years, 20 years in a profession, then you get some good money, good status and all this. Okay, so this is hard work basically, which is non-negotiable for success. Then we have number 10, the 10th house, that is the house of leadership. So if the sixth house is active, so for second house, as I said, you will get a job which will help you just to sustain, not much savings, no investments. Then sixth house will help you sustain yourself and also have a good life, a decent good life. Not a great life, but a good life. Stable life. Like where yeah, you are going out to vacations. Once every 3 months or 6 months, something like that. You may get a house, a car, and all this. Okay, so basic good decent life. You could say a middle class life. Okay. Then the 10th house. 10th house is the house of the sun where he gets directional strength, and the sun doesn't like to work. He makes other people work, right? He's the king. So 10th house, if activated, can give you a leadership position like a manager or a senior role where your job is to manage other people. So that's the difference. And you get more limelight, you get more credit, you get more value and all this. So this can give you a above average life. Okay, so this is like uh, could be upper middle class where you have like two three servants in your home, they are doing everything, and yeah, yeah, I mean you are not doing much, okay, because you have a lot of wealth to hire other people. Okay, so these people will not only hire people in the company, they will also hire people in their personal life. They will not mow the lawn, they will hire a lawn mower or somebody like that. Okay. But then there is one house, the 11th house, which sets apart everything else. So the 11th house is like rags to riches. Okay. So person was born in a middle class, or yeah, very humble background. But then now this person has become a millionaire. So this person just does not have a house with, two servants. This person has like, 10 properties or 20 properties, or maybe, the person is a multi-millionaire, 100 million or billion, or could be trillion also, who knows. Okay. So, all the other houses will give you good growth, but the 11th house will give you like a J curve, if you see the statistics, this curve, it's like zoop, you are going like rocket. So that's what the 11th house is. So it is undoubtedly indeed the most powerful of all these houses. But then how do you use this? So this I have already explained, mini job, then sixth house is job as per your skill, decent, good life. 10th house, very good life. You are making great. If your 10th house is very strong, people are kind of envious of you. Because they think you are having a lot, and I wish, I also had this. So that's a great life. And 11th house is like that person has gone beyond your reach. If you message him, his assistants will respond to you. Okay. So that's like the 11th. I mean, the person is gone. He's no more. I mean, he or she has left your circle, and the flight has taken off, and you can't meet that person anymore. Maybe, once a year you can meet, but the person is gone basically. Now, but we have all these. This is theory, but in practical, how do you use this? Now, for massive success. Now, of course, this is not a black and white zone. It is not like, you will be massively successful or you will not have any success. No, it's not like that. It is a wide spectrum of, gray. So, but the massive success will be in the other end of the gray zone. It will be like extremely successful. Okay. So, if your majority planets, now majority means we have like 9 planets. So, at least 4 or 5 or 6 or, more the better. If these planets, suppose among the 9, you have like 5 planets, 6 planets, which are associated with these 5 houses, the first house, second house, sixth house, 10th house, or 11th house, via planetary lordship placement and nakshatras, then you will gain massive wealth. Now, I have also added the ascendant here because the ascendant is, name, fame, power, and all this, how people see you. So we will see with an example because it's very difficult to understand, what does it mean, if a planet associates, so we will see what does it mean to be associated. But among this, if you have association only at a planetary level, then you will be successful above average. You could become a millionaire in, your 50s or 60s. But if the nakshatras are associated, you can become a millionaire in your late 20s or even 30s. So this is how you will differentiate. And we will see an example uh, of a person who is a multi-millionaire. I cannot reveal his name, but we will see with an example chart and how brilliantly this fits. And we will also see what combinations in numerology that person has. So it's like a complete package. Okay. All right. So if you see this person's date of birth, 5th of September, 1967. So let's forget everything else, just see like 5 and 9 and 7. So if you go back, 1975, of course, 1 and 9 we don't have because the first 2 digits we don't take for the year. But again, 7 luck, 5, prosperity, 9, 5, like brain is very sharp, 9, 7, very lucky, exceptional. It's like brilliant, super brilliant. So numerology is telling, yes, this person can be a billionaire or a millionaire. But now we have to ask astrology, can this person become, right? Because this person was born when a day, like thousands of people were born. Okay. So now let us calculate which houses are the planets indicating. Okay. For now, let's just calculate. Let's try and see. So if you see the sun, sun is there in Leo, lording his own house. So sun is there in the second house. If you see moon, Lagna Lord in the second house, so number 1 and 2 are here. Then if you see Mars, fifth lord, 10th lord. Okay, fantastic. This is. Then we have Jupiter, sixth lord. Then Jupiter is also the ninth lord, and Lagna is also associated. So you can also calculate the Lagna. Then we have Rahu. Rahu gives results of many houses, but for simplicity, I'm just writing the number 10 because Rahu is in the 10th house. Then Ketu, of course, in the fourth. Then Saturn, seventh lord, eighth lord, placed in the ninth house. Then what about Mercury? 12th lord, second lord, and also the third lord placed in the second house. So we have all these numbers. And the most special planet of the horoscope, Venus. Venus, the second lord, 11th lord, placed in the second and also the fourth lord. So Venus is a very important. The most important planets here are Venus, Mars, and Rahu. Why? Because Mars, Venus, and Rahu, these three planets are indicating the 10th and the 11th somehow. But if you remember, I told you this can make you a millionaire maybe in your 50s or late 40s. Okay. But this cannot make you a millionaire, or forget about being a billionaire in your 20s or late 20s, 30s. That's not possible. Now we have to use the cherry on the top, the nakshatras. So let's try and do an exercise. So we have the sun. Sun is indicating the second house, but he also has to indicate the second, sixth, 10th, or 11th via nakshatra. So we will see if that is happening. Okay. So if you see, Surya is placed in Leo in Purva Falguni Nakshatra. So Purva Falguni is lorded by the planet Venus. And guess what? Which house Venus is indicating? 11th house. So Sun is tick mark. Okay. But again, we have the rule number one, not one planet. That's not sufficient. We need at least 4 or 5 planets. Okay. One planet will not make you a millionaire. Even if that dasha comes, you will still get a lot of wealth, but you may not sustain it. Okay. So now moon. What does moon indicate? Lagna Lord in the second. So via planetary situation, tick mark. Okay, moon is agreeing to what our rule was. Guess where moon is placed? Again, Purva Falguni. Again, Venus. Again, 11th house. So 2, 3, 3. See, like Lagna Lord, Sun, Moon. So because this is Cancer ascendant, so Sun and Moon are the only two planets. And it's like, the ABCD of Jyotish, wherever Lagna Lord, Sun, Moon, whatever they indicate, that is like a very important factor. So now you see both Sun and Moon via planetary placement, lordship, and nakshatra are indicating these 4 houses, the second, sixth, 10th, and 11th. So this is massive. I mean, this alone is, I mean, even if you have this and nothing else, you can become a millionaire maybe by late 30s, okay, by mid 30s or something like that. But again, 2 are not sufficient. We need more planets. So let us see if others pass the test. So we have Mars, fifth lord in the fifth house, lording the 10th house. So Mars passes the test planetary wise. Then we need to see the nakshatra. What is going on? Mars is placed in Vishakha nakshatra. Vishakha is lorded by Jupiter. And guess what? Jupiter is indicating the sixth house, right? He's also indicating the ninth house. He's also indicating the Lagna. So Mars is like double tick. Okay. So now we have 3 planets. They have passed the test. Okay. Then we have Guru. Guru is by default the sixth lord in Lagna in exaltation by degree, it's in Mool Trikon. And the ninth lord, fantastic. So Guru passes the test. But does he pass the test via nakshatra? Let us check. So Jupiter is in Ashlesha nakshatra. Ashlesha is lorded by Mercury. So what does Mercury indicate? He's again indicating the second house because he's placed there. So Jupiter passes the test. So 4 planets, tick mark. So our rule is almost applicable here, but we will still search, if there are more planets, right? Who knows? Maybe there are. And then what about Rahu? The planet sitting in the 10th, waiting to devour everybody else. So Rahu, 10th house. tick mark. So Rahu has ticked. Let us see the nakshatra. So Rahu is placed in Ashwini nakshatra. Ashwini is lorded by Ketu. So Ketu is in the fourth. So Rahu passes the test, but not via nakshatra. Okay. So Rahu is like Rahu gets 50% marks. Okay. Then we have Ketu. Ketu is in the fourth house. So does he pass the test by planetary placement? He doesn't. Okay. But by a nakshatra, let us check. So if you see Ketu, Ketu is placed in Swati nakshatra. Now, which planet rules Swati? We know, right? Rahu. Rahu is the lord of Swati. So Ketu is in the nakshatra of Rahu, and we know where Rahu is placed in the 10th house. So Ketu passes the test via nakshatra. So he also gets 50% marks. Okay. So till now, we have Sun, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, four planets passing this test via planet and via nakshatra. And we have two planets who are passing this like, 50%. Okay. So it's great. But we have three more planets. We are not yet done. So we go to Saturn. What does Saturn indicate? Via planetary placement, no. He is indicating, the seventh lord, eighth lord in the ninth house. It's okay, not bad, but it's not a great combination for massive wealth. But we need to check the nakshatra. So Saturn is retrograde, placed in Revati nakshatra. Again, who is the lord of Revati? Mercury. Where is Mercury? Second house. Saturn passes the test. Then Mercury passes it by default because he's in the second. But let us check via nakshatra where Mercury is placed. He is in Uttara Falguni nakshatra. Lord of Uttara Falguni, Surya. Where is Surya? Second lord in second. So Mercury passes the test. Double tick. Then Venus by default in the second, 11th lord passes the test. Let's check the nakshatra. Venus is in Leo. He's in Magha nakshatra. Magha is lorded by Ketu. Ketu unfortunately does not pass the test. So Venus also passes 50%. Okay. So now you see here among the 9 planets, we have like 6 planets which are passing the test at both the levels, and 3 planets which are passing the test in at least one of the levels. Okay. So that means if you take an average, it is almost like 7.5 planets who pass all the tests. Okay. Both the tests. So rule number one, it should be there in 4, 5, 6, or 7, majority. So this is 7 plus. And imagine if this was also there in the other 3 planets, maybe this person would have been like a multi-billionaire or somebody. Okay. So but this is not enough. We also need something else, which is very important, which are dashas. Okay, so unless the dashas agree, and dashas after the age of 20, primarily because in nowadays people even from 15 they are opening YouTube channels, and they are like doing side hustle. But in general, let's take the age of 20. So if you see Venus Mahadasha, Venus is one of the planets which passes that test. And then Sun Mahadasha, then Moon Mahadasha. I mean, Sun, Moon, they're like all tick marks, right? Sun, Moon, tick, 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 tick. Then Mars, double tick. Everything is ticked, Rahu, Jupiter. So no matter whichever dasha comes for this person will always make money. Okay. Because every planet is satisfying the condition in some way or the other. So in short, for this person, even if you don't see dashas, you can if the person asks you, if the person comes to you for a consultation and asks you, will I get this, I have this business plan, will it be successful? You don't need to see dashas, just say yes, it will be. All right. But we also need a strong Navamsha because the Navamsha chart changes very frequently compared to the Lagna chart. So a strong D9, it shows your Bhagya, your destiny, because during this period that a person was born, around 1.5 to 2.5 hours, not everybody will have the same Navamsha. Okay. So we can discuss about the Navamsha, some other time. It is another fantastic Navamsha. If you see Lagna Lord again in the second, Rahu Venus in the 11th again. I mean, it's another level, so like so many planets in the fifth. All right, so we need the D9 and we also need the strong D10. The D10 is very important because it shows like your literal area of your profession, what you will do. So using the D1, we figured out will this person have massive wealth or not? Okay. And using numerology, of course. But the D10 will tell you how will the wealth come? From which area, what will be the source and all this, so that we can discuss some other time. But if these combinations of massive wealth they are present, it will happen. The rest is just a detail. It comes via politics or sports or Bollywood, Hollywood, or whatever. That is just a detail. That is not more than 1% of the equation. Okay, the 99%, the success has to be there in the destiny. Only then it happens. And then, of course, how it comes is another. And of course, last but not the least, palmistry is also important because palmistry ultimately decides who the person is. Because you can have the same date of birth, you can also have the same horoscope, but you can never have the same hand. It is not possible. Okay. So in palmistry, if you have an exceptionally long thumb, then you will have massive wealth. Okay. But this is not just for wealth. You can do great as a politician or as a like leader or whatever, so now, what does it mean to have an exceptionally long thumb? How do you calculate what is the barometer? So for this, if you see the index finger, this finger, you just take this line. If your thumb crosses this line or touches this line, that then it means your thumb is exceptionally long. Okay. So now, if you see Prime Minister Modi, it is almost touching this. Okay, almost. Then you have Chief Minister Kejriwal. If you also try to get it together, it's a bit spread out. But if he closes his hand and if you see other images of a closed palm, you will see it is almost touching that. Okay, it is almost. And a lot of other leaders in India like Nitish Kumar and so many others, you can see this. Of course, they may not be, all three of these may not be millionaires or billionaires, or maybe they are. Either ways, but they have been exceptionally successful in their uh, career. Okay, so this you can use for name, fame also, and not just wealth. Uh, but last but not the least, this is also very important, when a client is asking you, will I have massive wealth? So, so if some things are not clear, like for example, the person has 3, 4 planets, and their dashas are not coming. 3, 4 planets which indicate massive wealth, and the dashas are kind of not the best, or maybe some dashas are very good. So then if you use the prashna chart, then that will give you fabulous results, and that will be the deciding factor. So suppose numerology is telling you the person will have average wealth, and astrology is telling you he or she will have lot of wealth, and you are not able to decide what the person will have. Then Jyotish has given us this it's like the Brahmastra. It's like hitting the bullseye. If you use this, you will know is it a yes or no. Okay. So if the person is asking you, my dear sir, madam, will I be a millionaire? And if everything is fine and prashna is also strong, then yes, bang on. Because your horoscope cannot tell you if you will be a millionaire. Because uh, if your horoscope is strong, you may be, in terms of Indian language, you could be a crorepati who could be like a millionaire in India, or you could have a net worth of like 10 million, or you could have 100 million or 500 million. All of these are millionaires. Or you could be 1 billion, 2 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, 200 billion. So suppose a person is asking you, my dream number is 5 billion. That's my dream number. So how will you answer it? You can't answer, right? Because there is no way to say, if the person will be like 500 million or 1 billion or 5 billion. But if the overall horoscope is indicating all this and numerology, and then when the person is asking you, then the prashna is indicating that the prashna chart is very strong, then you can say yes, bang on, you will have a net worth of 5 billion US dollars. So if you use all the four, like numerology, astrology, palmistry, and prashna, of course, is a part of astrology. If you use all of these, and the cherry on the cake, of course, like, transits and omens also you can use, like during the consultation, are you getting good news or bad news, or what is going on in your day? So if you use all this, then you can actually tell, so this person wants 1 billion, yes, ho jayega. And if prashna is not good, then maybe, yeah, 1 million is difficult, 500 million, not more than that.
Wow, that's
Thank you so
amazing.
much. Jai Jagannath. Please share
Thank
your
you.
comments.
This is wonderful. I mean, it's not just as easy, like it's like going deeper and deeper and looking at deeper aspect with using all the tools to really find out, right? If it's really promised, than just looking at the chart on top of it. And yes, you will be wealthy or not, right? So that's amazing that you use all these tools, Babajit. I'm curious to know what brought you to Jyotish. And maybe I should have asked you this long time ago, but I'm like thinking you went so deep into it. So you started with numerology, you mentioned, or what was
Uh,
the, how did you get drawn to it?
Actually, this is somewhere in 1999 or 2000. It was around when the new century began. So
Uh-huh.
uh, I had a book in my house. It was, I don't remember the name of the book, but it was a very fancy book with all, planets and all these descriptions. And those days, like 25 years back, to have
Yeah.
such a fancy book was not the norm. So I don't know from where that book came, who sent, or, maybe which planet sent the book. I don't know. But it was there in my house, and I used to see the book, and then I read, there's something called as, planets, like thousands of kilometers away, like. But this was all only astronomy. There was no information about, Saturn, or Saturn was there as a planet, but what the hell does it do in your life? There was no information. So then I kind of, from that book, my journey kind of started, and I read more, read, and then when I came into Vedic astrology, I understood these bodies are not just some dumb, lifeless entities sitting up there and doing nothing. They're actually dictating us, or not dictating, rather impacting us, or they are kind of reflecting our energies. And then when I understood more, I saw that they just don't dictate some certain things. They are dictating almost everything. It's like even a glass of water, will you drink it or not? Even that is like, the planets are kind of encouraging you, inspiring you, to do that. So then when I went to Chennai and South India in 2010, so there I met a lot of spiritual teachers, gurus, and there I started reading the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam also. So when I did that, then I understood more about what is all this basically. It's not just, some planets, and it's not just your chart and dashas, transit. That's not the end. It's like the tip of the iceberg. The entire ice is below the ocean. Like we have the Vedas, the Puranas, Upanishads, the Sutras, Yantra, Tantra, Mudra, Mantra, and then we have Jyotish, of course. So yeah, from 2010, I kind of started reading very, very intensely about all this. And then when I read the Bhagavad Gita, especially, I understood what law of karma is and how to be detached. So the Bhagavad Gita gave me a deeper understanding of the houses in astrology. Like 12th house. If you see, read the literature, they will just tell you it is detachment, and you'll be, what the hell? I'm not detached. What do I know?
Mm.
If you
Yeah.
cannot be detached, what is the use of knowing the information, right?
Right. Right.
But if you read the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will tell you that detachment is very important, how to be detached, how to be selfless, karma yoga, ladders, like every planet will signify some level of yoga, okay, some level. Like Mercury,
Yeah.
Venus, they are at the lowermost, bottommost, like It's like a Sakam Karma Yoga. Okay, like Sakam means I want profits basically, you know. So and
Yes.
then you move to Moon, which is like Nishkam Karma Yoga, where you are not desiring anything, like the love of a mother or a father, somebody like that. And then you go to Jupiter, it is like it's not Karma Yoga anymore, that's why he gets debilitated in Capricorn, there's no karma there, right? So Jupiter is indicating like, more the Gyan Yoga and all this. And then of course you go higher, Jupiter gets exalted in Cancer. And that is why Krishna says in the Gita that Bhakti Maim Param Kritva, like Bhakti Yoga is the highest of all, it's at the topmost of the yoga ladder. So the yoga ladder will teach you the planets, basically how you evolve. And then lastly, I started reading the fifth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, all the 12 cantos. So in the fifth canto, if you read, you will find description of Vedic cosmology. That is like the most fascinating topic. So that will actually tell you, like, when you say sun is here, what does it mean? Like, these many yojanas and the sun is traveling around the Pushkara Dweep. Where is Pushkara Dweep? Then you will always hear like, Bharat Varsha, Bharat Khanda, then you will hear Jambu Dweep. These names you keep hearing. So in the fifth canto of the Bhagavad, all these descriptions are there, and there is also description of all planets, like all the grahas, where they are. There's description of Rahu also, where Rahu is, what Rahu does, which planetary system he is like, going, then the lower planetary systems, and uh, yeah, all this, like Bhuvarloka, Maharloka, Swargaloka, where these planets are like, going around. So if you read all this, you will actually understand how the zodiac is designed, and there's a lot of fascinating information about nakshatras, and there's also information of somebody who does good karma, to which planet or which nakshatra the person goes after death. All this is also mentioned. Okay, and
Wow,
it is,
that's so nice.
yeah,
That's deep. Yeah.
it is also mentioned what happens. Suppose you go to a particular Tara. Tara is like you could say like a small star. You go to a particular Tara. What is the extent of luxury you can have? That is also mentioned. You have
Wow.
all heavenly realms, and it is said a person who goes to a Tara, which is not a part of like literally Swargaloka, you could say, but it is a higher realm, okay, where you go after performing many, many, many pious credits. So it is written there. There's another book like, Bhugol Varnanam, where it is written all this, and Vishnu Puran, Garud Puran, all this. So it is said when a person goes to a Tara, the person gets a palace, which the length is also mentioned in that.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so
interesting.
they say that the you could say, radius or diameter or circumference, whatever. It
Yeah.
is said zero point 0.5 yojanas to 100 yojanas. So in Vedic calculation, one yojan is around 13 kilometers. So zero point 0.5 is 6.5 kilometers. Now, can you imagine you are sitting in a house which is as big as 6.5 kilometers? Just imagine for a second. And that is like a servant quarter in the Taras. It's
Wow.
like you are a servant, you go and help other people. And the maximum is 100 yojanas. So it is like 1300 kilometers. That's like if you try to calculate the measure of cities, the entire area, I don't know, you will never find. So imagine having a city this big. So yeah, if you read the Vedas, the Puranas, and nakshatras and all this, you will get a lot of information, and the more you read, you will realize the lesser you know.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yes.
it's a never-ending journey, Vedic astrology and journey of the cosmos, Vedic cosmology and modern astronomy also. So many similarities, like the Vedas accurately predict the distance between the sun and the moon, like like in the Hanuman Chalisa, it is there, Yug Sahastra Yojan Parvanu. So if you make that calculation, Yuga and Sahasra, like 1,000 yugas, like this, you will know exactly it is the distance between the sun and the moon, as it is mentioned as per modern science. So fantastic it is. So yes, the
Wow.
journey is like never ending, and astrology is just like a. So now when I read all of the other things, I kind of realize at the end, astrology is like it's like a pebble in the ocean. It is just, it's just something. I mean, maybe it's nothing.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
the
just
deeper you
small.
go, yeah,
Yeah.
deeper you go, then it's just another level, right?
Yes,
And there's
yes,
so much. Yeah.
and so many other things are there. Like we read about, Ramayana. In Ramayana, like Lord Ram went to Lanka, and where the hell is that Lanka? It is not this Sri Lanka that we know. It is a higher planetary realm. Like how did they go there? And the Vanaras who went to find Sita Devi, where did they go? So it is like a lot of detailed description is there, and things are much bigger. Like for example, we have this Himalayas, the Himalaya mountains in northern India. So if you read the scriptures, maybe Arjun Pai ji will be much. He can maybe identify with what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
You read
sure.
the
Yes.
if you read the nakshatra stories, you will hear all the time, oh, this character went to the Himalayas and did penance, Then Shiva came, Brahma came, Vishnu came, gave him or her some benediction. But you'd be surprised to know none of those stories, pastimes, are related to this earthly Himalayas.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
So there is a greater Himalayas where actually Shiva resides. This is there, it's like a so there that is why if you go to the Himalayas now, you can see replica. Like you will see, like Badrika Ashram is there in these Himalayas. Okay, but Badrinath is there. Sorry, Badrinath temple is there. But if you go to the greater Himalayas, you will see Badrika Ashram where Nar Narayan Rishi is actually residing. Okay, so here in this Himalaya, if you go, you will have Vyas Gufa where they say Vyasdev is there or whatever. But if you go to the greater Himalayas, you will actually find Maharishi Vyas is there, the compiler of all the Vedic literatures. He's still there. And if you read the history of Madhvacharya, who was one of the great sannyasis of the Madhva Sampradaya, it is said he went and met Vyasdev in the Himalayas. But it is not this Himalaya, it is the greater Himalayas, which is around 1,000 times more bigger. So the scriptures say this Himalaya of the earth is around 1 yojan, and the greater Himalayas is 1,000 yojanas. So can you believe it? Like 1,000 Mount Everests together, how big and how great and how grand that is. And that
Wow.
also is like one of the small mountains which is there in the entire region. I mean, there are many mountains, and you will read, if you read the scriptures, you will hear Mandar Parvat, like Gandhmadan Parvat, Meru Parvat. You will hear all these terms, okay? But you will wonder, where are these? We don't see them in the earth, right? So they are there in the higher
Rounds.
cosmic realms. You can find and you can read. And so many rishis you will hear, like Bhrigu, then Agastya, Bharadwaj. You will see all these rishis names, they are coming, Parshuram, so many. And you are wondering, where are they? Why don't we find them, right? But they are there in the higher realms. And if you have the necessary karma, and that if you deserve that, and you are spiritually well elevated, then you can interact with them, you can ask questions, and they will answer. So yeah, that is why I said, now when I read about all this almost every day,
Mhm.
and then when I come to astrology, I'm like, what is this? This is like so small. I mean, this is nothing. It is like
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
that is all from my side.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's really nice.
My
Thanks for
pleasure.
sharing your
Thank you so
personal
much.
journey. Thank you, Babaji.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.